a bigger question arises, and that is, why are we then so vulnerable to all this? Why we as Muslim nations are so susceptible to fall for all these tactics of Western powers?
Thanks a lot, Saadia. This is, I think, a very, very important question that you are raising here. And I am actually glad that in Pakistan, in mainstream media, we are having such kind of a meaningful discourse. And I think this is for the very first time that we are able to link Islam with the important issues that we face in our modern day-to-day context. Up front, I would want to say that all of us agree that instead of blaming others, instead of having this victim mentality, we need to come out of this victim mentality. This victim mindset has cost us, and basically it is absolutely counterproductive. We need to come out of this victim mindset. We need to take the bull by the horns, and we have to take up the responsibility. We can have all these big macro conversations vis-a-vis international relations, so on and so forth. But divide and rule policy, they might be employing it, they might be resorting it, but that's not an excuse for us as Muslim Ummah. So first up, I would want to urge all the Muslims at a micro level and at a macro level, we need to come out of this victim mentality that we use as an excuse. I would want to raise three points here, three basic points here. You talk about Saudi Arabia and Qatar and Muslim states, 57 Muslim states. What's the root cause of this problem? The problem is that we have absolutely no ability whatsoever to correctly identify and define Islam. We think that Islam is a set of rituals. I say my prayers 5 times a day, I fast for a month, I go to Hajj once in my lifetime and do some charity, and I'm a Muslim. That's a very reductionist approach. Islam has a governance aspect, it has a public policy aspect, it has an economics aspect, international aspect. It calls for implementation, it calls for execution. And we as Muslims, we have failed big time. We have failed to realize that Islam is not a set of rituals. It's an ideology that calls for implementation, come what may. When it comes to worldly rewards, at times, we may have to fight a Badr, we may have to fight an Uhud, we may have to fight a Khaybar in dire circumstances. But we'll leave the rewards to Almighty Allah because it's a spiritual ideology at the end of the day. And it's an implementation, it calls for implementation of an order. When Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he was challenging the false deities of Makkans, he was also challenging the false order, the social order of that era. But sadly, we as 57 countries, we have failed to realize the importance of implementation. So ritualistically, we are Muslims. We say our prayers 5 times a day, we fast once a month, and that's it, and we think that we are good Muslims. But when it comes to economy, when it comes to politics, when it comes to judiciary, bureaucracy, we are living secular lives. You and me, we are perfect examples of this. That at the end of the day, Pakistani society, Turkish society, or name any other country, we basically are living a secular existence. We are Muslims in name, we are ritualistic Muslims, but our societies are as secular as any other Western society. We need to change that.